Hello, princesses, and welcome back to Not Fit for Print Beauty with me, Rebecca. Today we're here to talk about a brand new product from Tarte. I heard about it on QVC, more on that in a moment. This is the Tarte Amazonian Clay Liquid Gem Foundation. We are going to try it on, talk about it, and Tarte and QVC. And we're going to do a really long wear test today. So I'm glad to have you here. Don't forget that you can also check out my channel on Instagram, TikTok, and on Threads. All right, well, as I said, I found this on QVC. Tarte is extraordinarily prolific to an extent that I tend to kind of tease about it. I kind of joke, I've made all sorts of jokes in the past year or two that they are over caffeinating the coffee, that they must have inner brand competitions, maybe the Amazonian Clay portion versus the Tartlet portion versus the Maracujá portion. You know, they have all of these kind of like fighting factions, I like to joke, in Tarte, where they're trying to one-up one another. But I will say this, my joking aside, they are extraordinarily prolific. Some really high quality, amazing items, and some items that frankly look like they should be from a drugstore. No offense to drugstore makeup. I like a lot of drugstore makeup. But what I'm saying is where they kind of seem to almost cheapen their name a little bit, you know? And they seem to use QVC as a little bit of a test zone. Not seem to, I think that's pretty obvious. A lot of things that I see on QVC end up making it to the Tarte website and to Ulta and maybe even Sephora, and some just never do. Let me apologize about any outside noise you hear. They are doing a lot of construction, but the show must go on, so I will continue over it. I'm sorry it's a bit loud. So this one is one of those test things, and they do a lot with their Amazonian clay. It seems to be a really big part of the brand. So let's talk about what this is. We have what appears to be almost a cream foundation presentation with the now characteristic Amazonian clay, almost like fern leaves on it. I'm not a huge fan of this design. Is that just me? At any rate, then you open it and there's a netting, like there would be a netting for a powder, you know, where you press on. But in the netting there is, it's not cream, it's actually liquid. No lie, they call it the Amazonian Clay Liquid Gem, but it's interesting because it dispenses like a powder would. It's housed the way a cream foundation would, but the feeling of it is actually liquid like you would normally have in a squeeze or a pump liquid foundation. Here is the brush that comes with it. Now this is no surprise. On QVC, they always kind of include a brush. So this time you got this and the brush for $40. If it makes it over to Tarte, it'll probably be just this for $40, around $40. QVC does the strange little pricing tricks. At any rate, we'll put it on with this brush because it comes with it. Very quickly, I want to add, you guys, that right now I notice that they have code HOLIDAY available on QVC. Just check this out. And you get $15 off any order of 35 or more. This is 40. So 15 off 40, pretty good deal if we end up liking this foundation. I have just put it on, just put a little bit of makeup over it. We're going to have a nice long wear test, but what you're seeing now, and you'll see the demo in a moment, but what you're seeing now is actually just immediately, I just applied a little bit of makeup over the top. Okay, this promises a weightless second skin feeling a youthful glow. I do have it down below, and I'll indicate code HOLIDAY so you don't forget, and that's down in the description bar for you to click on and check out on QVC. You don't have to have a membership or anything. It just seems like they test a lot there. And I also have information down there on giving super thanks, which I greatly appreciate, and joining our members only $4.99 a month little club that we have going here, where we have weekly lives with behind the scene info. And we talk about all sorts of YouTube and beauty industry gossip and stuff. It's really fun. All right, this has no SPF, hooray. No alcohol in it, hooray. And no fragrance. Double, triple, hooray. So it ticks a lot of boxes for those of us who get, you know, frustrated with our foundation. This will upset a lot of beauty fans. It's made in Korea, and a lot of people feel that Tarte kind of rips off Asian influences and sticks it into their product, so that will either please you or displease you, but it is made, and interestingly enough has a 6-month shelf life. It's pretty liquidy. 6 months, that's going to upset a lot of people too, but it's not a ton of product. This is an interesting one. What I think we need to do right now is just try it on and give it a wear test. So we're going to go to the demo right now. Could you take a moment to make sure that you are subscribed to this channel? When I reach 20,000, we will be doing a Q&A. Ask me anything you want. But I need your help to get there. So do make sure that you're still subscribed. And if you haven't, click that subscribe button. Let's go right now to the demo. Quite obviously, I have nothing on my face. Obviously, I do have my morning skincare, but I have let it kind of sink in. Characteristically here, when I'm doing this review, I will wear no concealer, no color corrector, no primer, no powder, and no setting spray. All of those things can combine to make a better result, no doubt, but I feel it interferes with knowing if the actual product is working or not. Okay, so let's do one side of the face first, and I'll use the brush that came with it. Eventually, if this makes it to the Tarte website, it probably won't. In fact, it won't be available with the brush, but we'll use it since right now on QVC you can get it that way, and we'll see. Okay, so this is an interesting, I have tried the shade a little bit on my face, just I did a little streak to see, and it looks like it's a pretty good shade match. So let me show you right there. Well, I mean, it probably doesn't look like it's a good shade match now, but I think it really is. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of spread this on. I need to learn to do this in a more commercially appealing way, you know, like dramatically sweeping or something. I don't really have it in me. Okay, so let's just do one side of the face. It spreads really nicely. It's an interesting liquid. I feel like, or I should say I can't help but feel like this would normally just be in a pump. Does that make sense? But instead it's just, you just touch it that way. Like it's that liquid, you know, like it feels like it's just a regular old liquid foundation that's kind of housed in a powder-like setting or what would normally be, I guess, a cream foundation, but it's pretty liquid. Ugh, I need concealer. But we'll just put a little extra of the product. I'm going to take some from the cap because that's a little thicker. Okay. A little extra in there. All right, so, not sure what I think. All right, let me just show you here in this kind of Phantom of the Opera type look. This side has the foundation, which now I'm seeing on me and thinking it maybe is a bit yellow, so let's see how it mellows as time goes on. This side has nothing but morning skincare that has sunk in. Again, nothing extra, powders, primers, sprays, nothing like that, obviously. What do you think? You know, I saw the before and after on the QVC, and her skin definitely looked better after, because who's not going to look better wearing makeup? But I thought, oh, you know, it could look a little better than that. You know, like I have makeup products that would make it look even better. You know what I mean? I feel like my pores are looking a little big. All right, let me speed up and do the other side, and then, you know, obviously we'll put makeup on and do a wear test. So you just kind of dip into this. It's got a net, like a powder would, but it's totally a liquid product. All right, let me do the other side. Okay, obviously better than, you know, just bare-faced, obviously. So, you know, I'm going to put on some minimal makeup because this is a foundation review, and then we will do the intro, and then I'll let it go. I can let it go all day. If you guys haven't noticed, I'm calling this Slowvember, but you're seeing this video in December. I'm doing kind of no videos Mondays and Thursdays until things pick up again with a lot of new releases and such. So that gives me a little more time. I'm not doing my crazy schedule of like filming 3 videos a day. So it gives me a little more time just to kind of let this sit and really do a really nice long wear test. So the next scene you're going to see is going to be a lot later today. It is 8 a.m. right now. We'll see how long I can take it. All right, see you in a little bit. Okay. it has been 10 hours, literally 10 hours. And I'm going to take my makeup off right now. But counterintuitively, let me tell you what I've done before I came on this video. I have reapplied. This is that Maracujá Juicy Lip. I'll have the color listed below. I've reapplied that. I put on a little bit more eyeshadow, but I haven't touched up anything else. Nothing else. My highlighter, it's still there a little bit. The bronzer looks like it's worn off. I still am in desperate need of a concealer, so we're not going to always have the best look here. But again, no primer, no concealer, no color corrector, no powder. I'll get to that in a minute. And no setting spray. Okay, so this is just 10 hours on its own. The reason I went about the powder is I have put on a little bit of powder blush, and earlier in the day I also had a little bit of powder highlighter and powder bronzer on, and that kind of does serve to powder it down a bit. The powder went over it fine. Any sort of liquid or cream product would go over this fine. When I put powder over it, it did not pick up any of the product. That's important to note, very important to note. So that part is good. When we look at the results here and I get out my mirror and do some close-ups, please remember that I do not have any concealer on and desperately need it, but I didn't want it to interfere. So don't let that cloud your judgment, okay? All right, let's take a look here. Let's go in. Definitely, absolutely, my pores here are, they're never going to quite go away, but they are looking enlarged. It does look like the product, being very liquidy, has indeed sunk in to the pores here. Around my nose, I do need some concealer, but we are definitely sinking into fine lines around the mouth. Let's take a look here. Yeah, I do have some powder blush on, but you know, you would be wearing blush if you were wearing this foundation. And I definitely see, I have a hair from a brush there. I definitely see a little bit, yeah, a little more texture on the skin, and texture down here is definitely not smoothed. Okay, all right, I got it. A lot of texture here. It is what I put around the eyes, and normally there would be concealer, has worn away. But it's, I mean, it's been like 10 hours, guys. So, you know, I'm not expecting it to be perfect. I just wanted to do as long of a wear test as I could. The answer is that this is a good and acceptable foundation, but it is not a great one. I don't know if it'll end up making it to Tarte. It's very pretty, but for my money, you know, granted, you're going to get $15 off 40. You know, 25, is it worth $25 then becomes the question. It might be. It's comfortable. It's pretty. It's not doing any favors for pores, for uneven texture on skin. It evens out skin tone very nicely, and it has lasted, but it wears away around the nose, especially if you're like sniffly like me, like a bunny rabbit, always moving my nose. So if you have any of those kind of issues, but the good points are that it evens skin tone. You can apply powder or cream or liquid over it and the product doesn't move, and it does last all day. The bad parts are it wears away, it emphasizes texture and pores. And I mean, you know, that's really hard, difficult really to say that, but I mean, it does smooth things. You know, my skin looks smooth, but in all honesty, would I buy this for $25? Keep in mind, I bought it for $40. No, I don't think I'd recommend it. I think there's a lot better foundations on the market. It's an interesting product from Tarte, and I tend to really love their foundations, and I love their complexion products, and I applaud them for trying and using a little test kitchen method. But yeah, you know, let me know. Let me know. It basically, it's a bit gimmicky. This could be in a pump. It's cute and all that, but I mean, it's okay. I'm not that impressed, you know. Let me know. Some of you love QVC. I only go on there to sniff around for Tarte, but some of you are on there a lot. You are interested in the products on there, and maybe you tried this and can give us your feedback. I mean, this is what makes us a community. I would certainly love to know what you think, and I'm happy to answer any sort of questions. So, you know, let me know your thoughts. It's nice. There's better. There's better out there. There really is. Don't forget to like, share, and of course subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Bye-bye.